Yeah,
Very good. Andy was talking last week about the memories of you running around up here as a kid. What,
yeah,
what does this full circle moment kind of feel like to you?
yeah. Like you said, I remember I was up here with like Shaq kids, little Timmy, little GP, Alonzo's son. We just up here playing around, not even watching the game, just up here just shooting while the game's going on. And then to be here now is just crazy. I wish that I was here early in my career. It was obviously growing up, watching my brother, watching D Wade. I already knew about the Heat culture and what to expect. So, I'm just happy that I'm finally here. Just one of those surreal moments.
Did you have other options, or was this the one you
No,
pretty
this
much locked in on?
Yeah, no, this is one I locked in on. It was some interest from other teams, but this is probably the best opportunity for me to play and help a team, reach get into the finals again.
What kind of role do you envision for yourself coming in here, knowing this roster, knowing who you are and what you can be?
Yeah, just same as I've always played. Being the defensive guy, bringing the ball up, just getting guys involved, letting them, do their thing, and me just kind of playing off of them. That's pretty much, how this system works. A lot of ball movement and just finding your spots.
Your game and the way they like to play, the fact is you're a defense first player, or that's happened most of your career, deflections, things like that. Do you see your game as almost this system I can just get right into because it's innately what I do?
Yeah, I'm excited because, obviously playing against the Heat, they cause a lot of havoc. Guys are running all around, getting deflections, just playing off of each other, and that's the way I like to play. I like to play freely on defense, obviously within the system, but just playing off of your teammates and just trying to get deflections and playing transition.
So familiar with the franchise, but like this is your first Miami Heat practice. Was there any surprises for you, or is there any takeaways for you from this first practice?
No surprises. Yeah, it was just learning the different terminology. Guys or other teams run the same things, but just changing up the terminology, which is going to take me a while to switch from the previous teams I've been on. So I think it's going to be an easy fit for me. I'm gonna study the playbook, study with Coach Wayne, and just figure out what I need to figure out.
Is it weird to go from teammate Wayne to Coach Wayne?
Not really, because when I was playing with him, he was later in his career. He was one of those guys that was helping out the younger guys, helping out guys like me. So I mean, it's not too weird.
Spoelstra says he references like you're always a kid. Because all the guys are saying, "Oh, the kid." Does this re-energize you? Does this re-energize you?
Definitely. Playing 2 minutes, 3 minutes on a team that's not really trying to win, to now playing for something. Yeah, I'm definitely re-energized. I'm just ready to play, ready to compete. That's the best way I can explain it. I'm just excited. It's Miami, I'm excited.
Outside of the need on the roster, maybe getting a chance to play here, what else appealed to you about Miami?
Honestly, just how long I've known everybody here. A lot of people here. If I want to transition in the middle of a season, Miami was probably the best place to do that for obvious reasons, and just the culture here. It's so many things I can say, but that's the best way I can explain it right now. It's Miami.
Is it neat that they've retired your brother's jersey, even though it's for Chris?
Yeah, it's a little weird sometimes seeing him in a #1 jersey, my brother. So I'm like, they retired Chris's, but he's probably more excited than I am, which says a lot. I think he's gonna try to come down here one of the first few games. He probably hasn't really been in Miami besides when he came to UD's retirement, probably in a while. So, he's gonna be excited and cheer me on.
So what's that first conversation like with Delon after you made the decision to sign here?
So when he was just down here for UD's retirement, he was, him and a few other Q Rich. They were telling Spo and I think Pat, like, y'all need to trade for Delon. This is before the deadline. Y'all need to trade for Delon. Like, he'll fit perfectly. And I was like, yeah, I would do it. I wasn't against it. But once the buyout opportunity came, we talked about it. And he was like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. Like, it's time to go. Like, we got to go do this. So he was pretty much the one that jump-started everything. So, it's his idea.
guys talked a lot about your impact in that Hawks series a few years ago.
Yeah.
So what do you remember from that series, or what stuck out to you about the C team?
So similar situation with Atlanta. I wasn't really playing as much. The last 10 games, coach threw me out there more to cause havoc, and then I kind of transitioned right into that role right in the playoffs. He was like, "Yeah, you're on Tyler, so try to make life as difficult as possible." So yeah, I feel like that's a similar situation here. We're going to be throwing on some guys to try to make it difficult for them, and that's just what I hang my hat on.
Welcome.
Thank you, appreciate y'all.
And what you think he might deliver for the team.
Well, we feel fortunate that we were able to acquire him on a buyout. He has a skill set that just fits us, and we're all very familiar with him. I guess I've known him since he was 12. It's it's crazy how fast time is going. Somebody had just mentioned it yesterday in the office that they didn't realize he was 31, and then we're like, yeah, well, we had Darrell 20 years ago, and then he was 10, 12 at that time, and it's like, wow, man, that just shows you time's flying. But his defensive skill set fits for sure. He's a very good playmaker. He can set up offenses. He likes to get guys involved. Wayne played with him in Detroit. He's one of his favorite teammates. And he's a veteran, so to be able to get somebody that's played, is in shape, that you can add to your rotation at this time of year without having to make a trade, I think is a big add-on. So we're excited about it.
I know that's not why you got him necessarily, but how neat is that full circle that he's gone from the kid who's running
Yeah, I
around
know.
up here.
It really is amazing. During UD's week, at his dinner, I bumped into Q Rich, and I was sitting at the table next to Darrell the whole time, and Q's the one that brought it up. He's like, "Oh, Delon would be a great fit with you guys. When is this going to happen? This offseason, next year, or whatever. You got to think about adding him." And then Darrell all of a sudden started chiming in. Then UD was like, "Oh yeah, let's bring the kid in." I thought it was funny, calling him a kid. That's just the way we all, feel about him, because we knew him when, he was so young. It does feel like a full circle deal in a different kind of way. Darrell and Q Rich were one of the first people that texted me, so we think it's a good fit.
Erik, with Terry and Josh traveling, is there an optimism there?
Terry and Josh traveling. Yeah, I mean, we're basically bringing everybody, because we also want Jeff Ruiz, to travel, and we figure that we'll be able to get some work in on the road, and we want to have our full staff there, so we're going to bring everybody and work through all of it, and I'll have more information as we get out on the road.
Could either of them possibly play on the trip, considering it's a week-long trip?
Yeah.
They could. Could both of them possibly play on the trip?
I don't know about that.
Could you
I'll
say
have
which-
more.
Could
No,
you say which one?
no. I think that'll leave you guys something to talk about, I guess.
One last thing on that topic. Terry seemingly was walking around well today.
Yeah.
Was that encouraging?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of it was, a big scare. It is something. It's a sprain, so it's not nothing. But it looked a lot worse, than what it ended up being. And he's working through it. He's had some very good days here working with the staff. He's making progress.
One more on Delon. That Atlanta series a few years ago, his impact was pretty clear, I guess. Just what do you remember from that series?
He's a disruptive defender. He's big, but he moves his feet well, so he can defend up a position. But he's really disruptive on the ball. He can guard the quicker point guards. He's done that his entire career. In that series, he was lined up against our studs, and a lot of that was against Tyler, but he was one of their defensive stoppers, and he took on all those challenges, not only in our series but all year long with that Atlanta team. He was the guy they would put on 1 through 3 whoever the biggest threat was.
Jimmy coming back, you guys were playing really well last couple of weeks. Jimmy comes back and more talent, but you saw that Tyler said, "Okay, my role changes a little." What does winning basketball look with Jimmy and Tyler out there that you want to see?
Yeah, well, you got to win. Really? Like, look, we got to defend. Offensively, we have to play to our strengths, which we know what they are at this point. We know what our identity is, and ultimately, the group, we have to bring out the best in each other. If we want to compete for, the toughest prize in this business, guys have to maximize each other, and it does require a little bit of a sacrifice. And I use that term loosely. Ultimately, when you're competing for a title, you're not really sacrificing anything. You're attacking something. You're going for something. This is not about just guys trying to feel like perfectly comfortable and in rhythm and getting all the shot opportunities they want. It's about what's best for the team. We have a lot of versatility. And we want to strike in all those different strength zones. We definitely have room for improvement offensively, so I think our guys are aware of that, and it's brought a little bit more clarity to just everybody throwing themselves into how we can make this offense, better, in this stretch run.
That cliche of flipping the switch this time of year, does that work around here, or are you guys kind of wired to do stuff one way, kind of wherever you are in the schedule?
We don't use that term. I don't know. I guess it would feel like we're flipping the switch when you get out of preseason. Then after the first 10 games, there's all these segments that you're trying to maximize during the course of a season. I think that keeps us on edge. But there are peaks and valleys. That's natural in an 82-game season. You don't want to succumb to that narrative. But this is a fun time of year also. I don't want the guys not to enjoy that. This is when it's most competitive. Everybody now is fighting for playoff positioning. You're not going to face too many teams in these next 27 games that aren't playing for something. There's less teams tanking, more teams playing, for playoff positioning, one way or another. Either to try to get home court or try to get out of the play-in or try to get into the play-in. I think all of this is good for competitors, and we have a bunch of competitors in our locker room.
Obviously, the circumstances and everything was not lousy with Jimmy missing some games there, but it's going to be 2.5 weeks for him. What did you think about
Oh, he's been working. He's ready. He knows his body. He knows how to ramp up and get ready. And he was in a great groove before that. Then he'll be fine. And we need him to do what we're trying to do. Yeah, we need him not only back but in the mix and doing what he does best. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Erik.